people find is the big challenges within that structure?
The biggest challenge in this type of lifestyle is people will look at the submissive as a weak person rather than for what they really are. And then there's the fine line that people will look at, okay, is this abuse or is this not abuse? So, the biggest problem that we have are people who don't understand the life looking in on it and being confused about it.
Where does that confusion come from, do you think?
Actually, personally, I feel it comes from a couple different things. One is, to be very honest, it's religious beliefs is a big problem with this, is that, well, we're not supposed to do this, we're supposed to live our lives a certain way, which we don't necessarily adhere to the practices of religion. The second and the major thing is everybody's supposed to be equal and everybody does the same things. There's a blurring of roles in society today. And when you set out to have clearly defined roles, especially in a household, and if you have children involved, it does get confusing. And it is a throwback to earlier days where, certain people have certain responsibilities, and although anybody in this house can do anything, we do have our certain roles that we do. And then if you start bringing in things like crops or whips or something like that, or floggers, people all of a sudden just naturally think abuse. This is not right. And that's where the BDSM comes in. It's a little bit different than what people really want to believe. People can't like this kind of stuff. Well, some people do. We happen to. We enjoy it to an extent where nobody gets permanently hurt. But we take things a little bit more extreme than what we call vanilla people do. Vanilla people are people that aren't in this lifestyle. Just basically very bland. That's how come vanilla came around. But we're very comfortable with it. They're laughing at me.
The thing is you bring up the religious aspect.
Yes.
One of the things that I find kind of interesting is those who have, especially in this country, who are real conservative Christians,
Mm-hmm.
they have this role structure.
Yeah.
In a way, where it's like I'm the man of the house, kind of man, woman, very defined roles within the house. The children, there's.
Right.
Do you find it kind of ironic?
I find it ironic, but only because a lot of it is because people that are involved in this lifestyle will socialize, they will, when we do things with other people, or because not everything is done privately at all times, so it's considered immoral. It's not the typical thing where sex is just sex, you just enjoy it, you're done, it's over with. We get into, there's other people that we train, we show how to do this to, and yet that's considered immoral because, my gosh, that would be like teaching somebody, taking somebody in the bedroom and showing them how to have sex, because people are going to be naked, people are going to be exposed. It's just frustrating to some of it's considered immoral for what we do. Although the role thing is very much similar to what a biblical thing would be. You know, where there's the head of the house and everybody's got their defined roles. But some of the other aspects of it, it just doesn't wash.
What was the first time for you that you originally heard of this?
Oh, let's see, 15 years ago, my partner Dennis took me to a private club. This was way before the internet type things, when everything was really screened quite strongly, that you basically didn't get into any place unless you had an invite from a member. I went there just to observe, just because, yeah, he's a friend of mine, I'm going to go take a look. It sounds interesting. It was very eye-opening to me. Everybody had their roles. The submissive did certain things there. The dominant did certain things there. There were little rituals that were going on. It was like, this is kind of cool. It's very structured. I enjoy structure. And it fit my personality. So I went with an open mind, mainly because of the person I was with. I did trust him. You know, be in business with somebody, you got to trust them a little bit. So there weren't, the first time I went to it, there weren't things like floggings going on, and it was an actual group meeting, which was real interesting. A lot of talking going on, a lot of information, a lot of welcoming. It was it just felt right to be there.
This relationship you previously had with this other person?
My ex-wife, yes.
Did this come into that situation, or was it built out of a situation previous?
The person I was married to before, I got married when I was 18. I'm 47 now. So I wasn't in this lifestyle when I first got married. I've always had the personality. I like to be in charge, and that's one of the best things I ever had going in business too. It just worked out that way. But the thing is, after I started finding out more, and it kind of, I wanted to apply this to my home life, and it had always been, in certain aspects of it had always been in my home life. I was always the one that would actually make sure the kids were well behaved, and you know, I did a lot of the control things at home, but she just didn't want to give up any. She always wanted to have an equal say about everything, and professionally and in a lot of other ways, that's hard for me. I like the input, but if there's a major decision to be made, I always felt that I was logical enough and intelligent enough to be able to make them, to do them in what was in the best interest of everybody.